Funhouse active, king of the palace, rubber like Malcolm, balled up fist in the air to the fast lit, yeah, hands up in the air till they gun me down. I keep it 100, they crunching the numbers, I'm getting wild. Young nigga got a fetish for success. If I ain't next, and I just leave impression. Next to rain on the window pane, puffin' plain Jane. Let them second guess me, wanna cop the Porsche with the porcelain skin. Grip the wheels, let the horses just why they trash to the chore on my list. Out of this orbit, I soar with the pen. I'm eating good, Miss Caloric as shit. I sipped the potion and poured it in. I on the tide when she poured it. Opportunity knock at the door, then I grin. They rush for the doors, then they open like bliss. Pin stroke, game cold as the fridge. Sound wave for like more than...
Yo, we are back once again. Every podcast, sorry for being late. We are late. We all had things going on. Jared just came back from a business trip. Justin had to tackle some adult stuff, I'm sure. And Ike is still having issues. We're still having issues with getting Ike into the chat for some reason, into the screen. So we're going to have to work out some technical difficulties. So this will not be the same next week. I'm going to put all my energy and effort and resources into fixing this. But this is episode 10, and we are back again, man.
Damn, 10 already?
10.
Hey, Jared, don't
Yes,
this
sir.
sound like a contract dispute between Vernon and Ike?
Yeah. Right.
Nah, man, it ain't a contract dispute, I promise. Whatever I owe,
They
I
trying
will
to
pay.
downplay it on air, but
Yep. That's what
What
he holding
nah.
out. Ike holding out right now.
Whatever I owe, I will pay. I promise. He's
That's
one of my
exactly
dearest
what's going on.
friends. I would definitely pay. If not nobody else get paid, I'll pay him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we are behind schedule, so we're gonna dive right in now. We're gonna start off with the Austin Rivers highlight culture video. I have it here that I didn't put in here because I was being black and I thought everything was gonna work, but
Get it together, bro.
no, we good. I'm all I gotta do is share the screen up and add it in, and we be good. I just had it different because it was gonna be 4 versus 3 of us. So we'll put that in there. So that's the wrong thing. See, and I already had it. I knew it. Boom. All right.
Little things in basketball are forgotten now, and they're not appreciated. And it's like a trickle effect, even to like the analytics of numbers and stuff. Like certain guys don't get paid what they value in basketball, what kids think are cool. I'm gonna try to make this as sweet as possible because this really does bother me. I talk about this all the time. When I played in high school, you only got a mixtape if you were like a top tier guy. Back then, like you had to put in work, like consistent work, build a name for yourself to get a mixtape, and it was like an honor to have a Ball is Life mixtape. It was an honor to have a Hoop mixtape. We didn't play to have one though. I didn't go into a game doing something to be on Hoop mixtape. I went into the game to win and just be myself. And Hoop mixtape and them were there following me. I didn't ask Hoop mixtape to come follow me. I didn't pay Hoop mixtape $1. I didn't pay Ball is Life $1. They just followed me because I was that guy. They followed Brad Beal because he was that guy. They followed this guy because he was that guy. That's how it was. The landscape has changed now. Parents are paying these people to come to games. Everyone gets a mixtape. Everyone looks at the camera now and taps on their head when they dunk on someone, and it's all highlight after highlight after highlight. And now only kids watch highlights. They don't watch the actual basketball game, the purity of the game. Making a hockey pass, which means making the right pass. Even though you're not going to get an assist, you're driving to make a play so someone else can make the play to get an assist. Diving on the floor, talking on defense, playing defense at all. Shooting good shots, making the game easy, being efficient with basketball, and scoring off 1 or 2 dribbles rather than 15 dribbles. This whole thing, and I only named like 12. There's 50 of them. Has been forgotten about in basketball. And you're seeing it with some of these guys that come in the NBA. I can name you names, but I'm not going to. That come into the NBA and have all the talent in the world, but like they need to be taught basketball because like this is what basketball is now. Like highlight culture has absolutely, yeah, it has killed the game of basketball.
My oldest, my son, Key. I pray that the rap game.
I don't know why somebody was talking over that after that, but yeah. So yeah, what do y'all think, man?
I mean, I agree to a certain extent, but why he's actually putting energy and effort into making this statement blows my mind. Why he sounds like a privileged philosophy professor also blows my mind. I'd never expected him to sound like that, but that's neither here nor there. I think he's right. I mean, I agree with him. Like I said, he didn't tell any lies. Everything was factual. I don't really know where this is coming from or what triggered this conversation, but I agree with everything he said. I think kids these days are too focused in the highlights, but some NBA guys are. Everything they do is a highlight. Everything Steph Curry does is pretty much a highlight. Like those long threes and, finishing with his left hand and, how he puts a spin on the ball for layups and stuff. I mean, a lot of what he does is a highlight. So, I mean, you can't be mad at him, but, but that's my take on it. I agree. Just a little kind of confused as to why he felt this need to be said.
What about you, Justin? Because he reminds me of Justin. Like it just sounds like if Justin was gonna go on a solo rant, like about something, like that's what I would expect.
That's fair. That's very fair. I ain't even gonna lie, because I agree with him 100%.
Yeah.
I would, like you said though, I would be curious as to like what question was asked to how he got to like going down this
To
road.
this point, right?
Yeah, but like
Right.
everything he said is true. I mean, the reality is, even what you just said, Jay, is true. It's just now it's intentional. Like you said, there ain't no lie there. Steph does things, I don't care what he says, because he knows it's going to be viewed. It's going to be seen. So, like, they do extra stuff today in the NBA because of this highlight culture. And it's crazy to see just because when I, growing up watching basketball was nothing like this. I'll be real. I think the only
Not
person
at
I ever
all.
remember seeing like have a mixtape was a dude named DeJuan Wagner back in the day because he dropped like 101
Dang.
points in his high school game. Like, dude was a dog. But like
Shout out DeJuan
outside
Wagner.
of that,
I said shout out to Ron Wagner. His son's
Yeah,
I'm
actually
gonna say, yeah.
dog
and
now,
his son's
too.
a dog. Yeah, his son's a dog too. But like he's the only, like he's probably one of the only ones that I can remember with that. Like, and it even goes further, I'll be honest, where they're just exploiting these young kids. Like LeBron was the first one I remember having his high school game on ESPN. Like
Yeah,
him and
that was
Carmelo,
crazy.
that battle with him, St. Mary versus Oak Hill, and it was like
Yeah.
that was crazy. Now they put tons of high school games. I'd be like, who are these kids and why are they on TV?
And why are
Like,
they
you know what I
shorts-
mean?
and why
So
they shorts so small?
yeah, like why?
Let's not act- and why
They-
nobody
You got them.
knows
They got them John Stocktons.
Man, it's like
they'll have the John Stocktons, and either A, they'll have them pulled up higher, or they'll be sagging in the John Stocktons. Like,
Yeah,
why don't
it's
you just get the
weird.
long shorts? Like, y'all
Yeah.
weird.
I can't. I don't understand these kids. Like I said, I agree with everything he says, but the culture is kind of annoying. I guess I might be sounding like an old
We
head,
old
but
heads though. Like we
like-
grew up on like
like-
90s and early 2000
you know what I'm saying?
basketball.
Like Monday. So I was watching. They have like a hoop hall tournament in Springfield, Massachusetts, and they play like I think 4 high school games. And I'm just watching the high school game, and it's just like it's like a competition to who can have the tightest, smallest shorts,
Yep.
and who can have just the most hair on their head. It's almost like that's what basketball is. Like it's hair and short ass shorts.
Yep.
That's it.
Head
Yeah,
look like
That's
a
all I
tank.
see when I
And
watch
they-
high school ball these days.
And
That's
they've
it.
made it. And but see, that's also NBA too, because you got the NBA who now you got to look a certain way. Far as when you enter the arena, like back in the day, like people just wore regular clothes. Now you got to be
Right.
dressed up a certain way.
Well, you can thank
Yeah.
Iverson for that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Which I don't have a problem with it one way or another. I think I'm still a person. I should be able to express myself
Right, I
through
mean,
my
right.
fashion. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Whatever. Because now, like
But-
you said, like we were talking about earlier, like
The
players are
NBA didn't want that
brands
hip
now.
hop culture. That was the
But
problem back then. They
right,
weren't ready for the hip
but
hop
they never
culture back then.
now what you don't let in. You don't let in all
Right.
this flamboyant colors and all this extravagant fashion and stuff that's
Some weird stuff.
some weird, really weird stuff.
It's
Like
like a weird competition, really, is what high
and
school
it
It
is,
is.
basketball turned into.
It
Even your
is.
and it
best
is.
kids, it's like who can have the tightest, smallest shorts is all that I feel like they're thinking about, and it's kind of ruining it for me. But it's not my thing, so I mean,
Yeah,
who cares what how I feel about it? But
Right, right,
I
right.
mean, it's just different, and I think like Austin Rivers probably just was watching and made some observations and was just kind of fed up with what he was seeing, and he spoke on it. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not in his head, so I don't know what he's thinking. But maybe this is part of a podcast. Like, I would love to know
it
where
seemed
this
like it.
came from.
That's
And
what
I
I want to know
couldn't
where it came from.
Yeah,
and I couldn't find it, bro. Like when I tell you, I literally spent an hour and a half, like before I even sent y'all a message. Like even when we were talking about what we were talking
hmm
about in the chat, like I was still looking. I'm like, where? Like it has to be. Where's the original at? Because I feel
right.
like there's more to the conversation. Like you
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
asked him a
yeah.
question, or somebody sent him a question, or maybe he responded to something on Twitter, or it's like something like sparked this. I
Yeah,
just don't see Austin Rivers as the guy coming out and just being
I,
like,
I ain't
"Hey,
never heard
look,
him
I
talk
got exactly like I just got something to say, and I gotta get this off my chest right now."
and just put
You
some
know what I mean?
headphones on and just
And
went
right,
on
and
the
threw
rant.
a
Like,
cell phone camera up and just started talking. So
right? Yeah,
I find that hard. I feel like it probably came from somewhere.
it
Is
did.
he still on the roster?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he plays
He's
with.
in Minnesota.
I think so.
Yep,
I think he's
Yep,
still
yep.
in
I think it's
Minnesota. Okay,
Minnesota.
okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like you said, maybe he's seen something. Maybe he was watching a Baller's Life update. You know what I mean? Highlights
Yeah,
or something like that. But I agree also. Like I think we all kind of is echoing the same sentiment. Like I believe that it is a lot of highlights. Like very seldom, and maybe because like we said, the game has changed. It's more fast paced. It's more flashy. Like everything about the NBA, that's just where they've moved. Because we grew up on you know, uh, pick and rolls, throwing it to the
hmm
post. If he was running an isolation, it's because, like you said, you had somebody like Jordan or somebody that was a specialist in shooting fadeaways, or like you said, running the triangle. To get a three off was very rare. Everybody was running around like Steph Curry to even get a jump shot off because the defense was so tight and people were more locked in. But I just think with this more free flowing game, you have somebody like Stephen Curry who came in and just made it cool to just have a green light from anywhere. Um, there's no, there's no, what do they call them? There's no safeguards of the old game. There's nobody in the game who still teaches the old school way of ball because it's not efficient anymore. People
yeah.
want to
Stuff
see teams,
evolves. Everything
yeah,
evolves.
like they want to
I'm
see
not
100 point games
mad at
every
it.
night. That's
Yeah,
sad when defense, like the top defense in the league, is giving up 90 points a game. Like back in the day, the score 90 was
yeah.
crazy. It had to be an all star
It's
game or
it's over
just
100 now.
No,
yeah.
it's well over 100. I mean,
Well over
I seen
I'm
a
100.
just
game the
saying.
other night where it's 152 to 147. I'm like,
Yeah, I think
but
the
that's
highest
not
But
he
fun
that's
to
finished
what I'm
might
watch.
saying.
be
Like to
110
be
or something.
considered,
Like,
Yeah.
but to be considered like a good defensive team, like to give up 90, what? What in the 90s you hardly ever sniffed
yeah, them
90.
games used to be like 65 to 82.
82, man, tough.
76 to
You get in the
90. Like,
80s,
But you
you're
see,
looking at like who had 30,
yeah,
like
right.
who
yeah.
went off, like you're like what star went crazy.
And that's where, like I say, like that's what made it even more impressive when you seen a guy drop 50 or 60 back then.
hmm
To
They
me,
Yeah,
was
no,
getting
I like,
50 or
but
absolutely.
60 of 90
yeah,
as
that's what I'm
opposed to
saying. Like
50 of 160.
150.
Like,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, right.
and that's where I say, like, you call me old head, that's fine. But that's where, like, for me, like, I don't watch nearly as much like basketball or football as I can't say football, I still watch football, but like I don't enjoy it as much because
I'm
they've
noticing
gotten
that too.
away from it. You know what I mean? Like I
hmm
enjoyed the grinded out style. Like I enjoyed the purity of that
Me too.
game. I understand the evolution to a degree, but it to me it just seems like you went from okay evolving, now you're just teeter tottering where it's like, all right, is this just purely about entertainment and money at this point? Because we I mean we've just loosened the rules so much, it's
That's my
crazy.
problem.
For me, yeah, for me. So like I'll give y'all a quick example. I don't even know the kid's name, but something had popped up and it might have been like a baller's life, and they had this kid and they just showed this kid doing all this stuff, one on one stuff, da 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 da. Then I looked at the end, his team got whooped. But he's the
Oh,
only one they showed on the video, and I'm
that's
like,
the
what
worst.
the heck is this? Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's the
Like,
worst.
yeah. So I don't get it. I'll be honest. I'm out of tune, I guess you would say, with the culture of what's
Yeah, absolutely. Me
basketball
too.
today. So you
Me
know,
too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Me too.
And it's like I look at things. I try to look at every things from a different perspective. That's why I'm so passionate about my opinions because I actually sit and I try to look at it from different angles. So I'm saying,
hmm
are these kids or are these kids' parents paying for these baller lives or ballers life mixtapes, or are the people just on their own filming the content? If the people are filming the content on their own, at that point, the kids aren't even the issue.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
correct,
Because they
correct.
wouldn't be there if people weren't filming.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know. But now, also on the flip side of that, I can't fault anybody for making their money. If I'm a
No.
videographer and somebody says, "Hey, I want you to shoot my kid," I don't care if the kid garbage or whatever. I don't
Oh
care if
yeah,
he
I'm
don't
gonna
have
go make
nothing to do. I'm gonna go make
money.
money. Like
Yep,
so.
yep.
I'm trying to figure out which one is it, I mean, but if these guys are just trying to get content, trying to make content, so they following these kids around. I mean, you can't blame the kids.
No,
It's just
no, you
From
can't.
it's just like with the prices of stuff. I mean, people forget that consumers. This is just an example. People forget that consumers share a part in prices going up because now, granted, stuff you gotta have gas. Okay, I get it, but like certain gym shoes, for example,
Yep,
if everybody just didn't have to have them and pay these wild prices, that market wouldn't be what it is.
correct.
absolutely.
Consumers create the market. You know what I'm saying? So this
Yep,
is just one of those situations to where, if the guys are shooting the content, the guys are in these gyms and shooting these average kids with, no fundamentals and, don't literally care about the game, that's on them. I mean, you can't blame the kids.
that's true. I just think you're gonna run into an issue. I don't know if it's so.
That's new. I
I
was trying
love
to
it.
keep a straight face
I
through
love
it.
it.
Like,
Hey, I
I
couldn't.
had to sneak
I
it in there.
couldn't. Hey, I couldn't.
That's what I
Um,
said. I've been playing around, man. They got a whole bunch of new like stuff on here
if
too. So
Justin had broke, I was gonna keep. I was gonna hold it on. And
I tried
hey,
to
then,
I
see. I'm like, who
tried.
go who go break first? But we
I
all
tried, but that was hilarious. I'm sorry.
that's what's up.
so
Hey,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's unfortunate because I think at some point, and I could be 1,000% wrong, but like the younger generations, I don't see them sit down and watch games like as much as like I think like we did, or even like the older folks. So
Yeah,
my concern, if I was a league, would be you're trying to appeal to a generation that's not going to sit there and watch it. So in 10, 20 years, when your older people just are like, the heck with this stuff or whatever it may be, where's all your where are those consumers at now? The ones that are going to
right.
buy your tickets and all that. So I think honestly, they could be from a long term standpoint dooming themselves because I just don't see like, man, you know what I mean? Young folks, I know that play basketball, football, or something. But if you ask them if they've sat down and watched the daggone game, nah, I watch parts of it, or I just wait till Sports Center or something comes on and I
I
watch
used to
the
coach
highlights.
But
kids,
see,
and I
but
used to ask them, because we be practicing kickoff return. And I was just be like, "Do you guys watch football? Because this is clearly not. I know
do
you've
y'all
seen
not
some
know what
kickoff
to do on the kickoff, right? Yeah.
exactly." And they would all say, "No, no,
Yep.
no." It's like, then what?
And also with that, like now with streaming as we're doing, like people don't have to watch a whole game now to get the content
Right,
of what they want to see. You know what I mean?
right.
They could
Because they
go
only
on
want to
and
see the highlights.
they only want to see the highlight. And I think that's what Austin is getting to. It's like it's
Yep.
coming to a point to where like, hey, look, if two of my favorite teams is playing, let's say Indiana and Miami is playing, like I don't. And I'm in Indiana. Like we in Indiana. Like yeah, I could turn on the TV and watch the whole game. It's probably locally being broadcast. I could, or I could jump on my phone. I could play the game. I could do whatever I want to do. And when the game is over, get a notification. Hey, the game is ended, and go watch the highlights.
Yep.
It takes less time. Is you
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like I don't. I can
Shit
do
is
other
really
things
less
while I'm
stress
watching it. I
too.
can listen to it. Yeah, like. But see, back in the day, like in the '90s, early 2000s, like if you wanted to see your favorite player play, you had
Had
to
to
watch
watch
his
the
game.
game. Yep.
You had to sit and watch the whole game. You couldn't just jump on your computer and catch highlights.
Yep.
And very seldom, like ESPN, like maybe,
Yeah.
like if he did something super special, but you're not gonna. You can literally go in and say, all right, on this date, this game, and see all the highlights of this one player. It's crazy, So I agree with what everybody's saying, and what Austin is saying too. It's like eventually it's gonna come to a point where the game is gonna get diluted, and I think we're starting to see the beginnings of that because, like he said, there's no offense ran outside of pick and rolls. You know what I mean? Like there's no if real isolation ball, like not to shoot a jump shot or get a quality shot. Everything is like you said to get a dunk or an easy bunker or a deep three. Like
And
that's what basketball
it's
is.
too much isolation going on.
I mean like
Yeah,
isolating,
that's
like
it.
Yeah.
I'm like a Jordan isolation or a Kobe isolation. Like it was deep in the shot clock if those guys was isolating. Outside of that, the
I
ball
mean, I
was
feel like
moving.
that's what we still doing. That's all of what
I think
what
it
that
But
starts
what
at.
part
they
means.
I
but
don't even
what
think
they
they wait until the deep in the shot clock. That's what
right,
Vernon's saying.
but
Like they
that's
just
what I'm
coming
saying.
down ISO.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
now the like we were saying and what Ike was saying before, like the shot clock, like it's 8 seconds to get across court. And now you only get 14 seconds. Like the shot clock, everything is condensed. They like, hey, you need to hurry up. They trying to keep the pace of the game going up. So you can't even get a big man time to set up, throw it down in the post, do his 1-2 moves, either do his fadeaway, a hook, or anything like that. Like nobody has the patience for that, or even have time to throw it back out to get a quality shot, or to set up to get a post up, or get your best player in the position to take his best shot. Like
What
that's how it
what
used to be
kills
in the
me is the
90s.
pull up threes on the 3-on-1
Yeah,
break.
no,
Oh
they
my
don't
That
care. They will
goodness.
shit
stop.
drives
They
me
gonna
Or
stop.
the flare to the corners on breaks. Like
Yes.
they don't fill lanes anymore. They just shoot
No.
out to the corners for the threes. I'm like, oh my
It's
god.
2K. It's the wreck.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
the
But
wreck.
that's
Exactly what it is.
easy
It's the
too
wreck.
Yep.
Yep.
that you just
Yep.
settled for a 32% 3-point
Yep.
shot.
Yep.
Because they've drilled into the league and into these guys' heads, these analytical guys that's telling them that the 3-point shot is weighed more or more important than a 2-point shot. They're saying, okay, we could take a three, run the risk of getting an extra point, versus taking a 2-point shot, a jumper, which I
Hmm.
agree. Over a layup, you always take a guarantee or the easiest shot. That's just how I learned basketball. You always take the easy shot. You work from the inside out. That's always how basketball's been. But now it's not like that no more. Like, it's literally outside in, if you're lucky. Because a team will shoot 43s a game? What? That was back in the 90s. It would take 40 shots a game, period, as a team. Now that's just happening from the 3-point line.
Or the free
So,
throw line.
so I mean not the free throw line, but from the
I
field.
knew what you
So,
meant. That's why I just co-signed it and kept moving.
but yeah, nah. So
No, I
I
was saying
definitely agree.
I said or the free throw line.
Or
That's
the
what I
free,
said. Yeah, I'm
and
saying
that's
like
another thing too.
you're getting tons of free throws now too. So
It's
And,
like
or at least
and
it
it, like you
seems
said,
like it's more.
practice your
I
free throw. Like
I think,
Yeah,
like
you're in
we
the
were
league and
mentioning,
you're
I
shooting
think
30%. That's unacceptable.
bro, you can get
I
in
That's a
think
whole
any
different
you can get
conversation.
in any gym in the country at any time. Like all you got to say is, "Hey, I'm so and so from the, whatever
whatever. Yep, whatever team you
elementary
shoot.
school,
But they
middle
all
school,
first
high
But
off,
you
school,
ain't got to
forget
do
that
that. You got access to your facility.
you have a facility
anything.
that you
Like
can go.
any
Yeah,
gym, any
Yeah.
rim in the country, if you ask, you could shoot on it. Like
right.
pretty much.
And another thing is that they are what was I about to say? I think they should bring hand checking back. I think they should. Like, hey, look,
They
if
should
you
do
want the game
something.
to be at fast pace, the defense is at a disadvantage because
Hmm.
you
You can't
you
do
you
nothing.
can't really stay in front of people
Yeah, that's all sports.
Can't do
because
shit.
that's they're calling ticky tacks. You know what I mean? You can't follow through on a contest unless you jump completely out of the shooter's view. Because anywhere in his face, the chances of you coming down on him or touching his elbow or touching any part of his body is highly likely that you're going to do it. And that's going to be an automatic foul where you might give up a 4-point play. You know what I mean? So I think you should be able to make it tougher for them to at least get to their shots, or you know what I mean, get the shot up. And
Yeah,
I
because
think hand
defense is
checking would affect that.
non-existent. Defense
It
is
is. You just 14 you
optional
do.
in the NBA now.
It's truly optional. I agree. But I digress. I agree with Austin, and I'm eager to see where things go. Like later on down the line. So, but let's move on to some NFL news, man. What do y'all think is gonna the future of what's next or the future for the Vikings and the Chargers? I feel like, and I'm just gonna say this, I feel like these two teams, for the talent that they have, for all the things they've been through, have underperformed the past at least 3 years. They've been in the playoffs. And the Chargers didn't go last year, but they've been close. With all the talent they've acquired and things, like, let's start with the Vikings. Like, what the heck is going on with the Vikings?
I mean, I don't fucking know. A lot of people are trying to blame it on the defense. But then, a few weeks ago to the Colts, they were down 33-0 at, at halftime. I mean, granted your defense, yeah, y'all gave up points. But what the hell is your offense doing? So I mean, I don't know. Like usually situations like that is coaching. In my experience, situations that come out like that where you can't really explain why certain things are happening is coaching. And then with the Chargers, we know their head coach is, I mean, he coaches like it's Madden.
Well, let's
So
stick with the Vikings right now. So like, you got a first year head coach, and so they just switched coaches. Um, I don't know if he's an offensive guy or a defensive guy, but you have Kirk
offense,
Cousins, which is he's he's middle. I feel like he's middle of the pack quarterback. He's not.
He's serviceable.
He's
yeah,
serviceable. Okay, exactly. And then you got Dalvin Cook. Can we say top 10 running back in the league easy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then you have Jefferson. We definitely top 10 receiver.
what happened to
The,
Adam Thielen? Like
that's what I'm about to say. Adam Thielen, before
what
Jefferson
Thielen
came
doing?
along, Thielen was very solid.
He was
Um,
almost like trending towards Cooper Cup damn near.
yeah, like they were in the same
I
breath.
I just
The offensive line isn't terrible. You've had decent tight end play over the years. Like, what is it? You got
I don't know.
veterans on defense, like not bums. You got Harrison Smith, who's been around forever. You got Hunter. You had oh boy, the coach that the coach just picked up year before last. You got
Xavier Rhodes.
yeah,
Patrick
Xavier
Peterson
Rose.
out
Like you got
there.
Patrick Peterson. Like you had talent, and I feel like enough talent to do more than they've done. Justin, like I don't know. I don't. I know you probably really don't care, and I can
I
see
was
it in
just
your
getting ready
face.
to say
I
that.
can
I
see
was
it in your face,
literally,
but
it was on my mind. I was just like, bro, like at the end of the day, who even cares? Like,
I just it's frustrating to see a double digit win team, and you just don't know their identity.
we've
You
been
don't.
calling them. That's why people have been calling them frauds all year. Like, there's a guy, one guy on my timeline who likes, Minnesota, and he's been, talking and stuff. It's like I've just kind of been like, I mean, all right, y'all had a really good season. I mean, like
Right.
what's next? Like, I
They just
mean,
underperformed. Just
I mean,
it's
they're
like
they
big
people
time.
been people that really watch and know football has been calling them frauds all year, and I've been one of them. But because 11, I see 11 one score wins not as good as other people see. Some people, oh well, they find ways to win. Yeah, but can you dominate anybody?
But it's different in the playoffs.
I
Like,
mean,
and I
but
think we
even
just seen
even
it.
that's what I'm saying. But that's why people were calling them frauds
Right.
because
That's why you can't trust him.
your
Right.
lack of being able to dominate anybody does not translate well to me. Some people look at it, oh well, they can find a way to win in any situation. I'm thinking, how have you not dominated anybody?
And see, and that thing
And
too,
you played
like
the Bears twice.
exactly. That's what I was just about to say.
Like
The
that
AFC,
should be
the
two right
NFC
there.
North. Is it? Was they really good, or did the NFC North just struggle?
They, yeah, that
I guess
I
that's a real
wouldn't call it
question.
good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because Green Bay struggled. The Lions, they're trying still finding their
They
way, which
might
they're
be
coming
on to
along.
something, but as of
Right.
now,
And then the Bears number one pick in the draft. So like, I think maybe it was just a product of them, like you said, being kind of fraudulent, uh, not having a really tough division this year, and like you said, just not having an identity. Right. I mean, on the defensive or offensive side, because they don't know if they want to be a run first team or if they want to be this aired out team with Jefferson, Thielen, and Rudolph now. Not Rudolph, but Hawkinson.
Hawkinson.
So I just really feel like that's the thing. But Justin, real quick on the Vikings, man. Nothing. I
I mean,
just
they are. I mean, they
they
are who
are
they.
who we thought they
Yeah,
are.
I mean, that's just what it is. Same with the Chargers. Like, I ain't got much to say. Like I told you then. I mean, with the Vikings, I wasn't expecting much from them. I
Yeah.
don't care nothing about the regular season. I mean, it's part of it just because you need to have a good regular season to make the playoffs. But I mean, come playoff time, I would have been more shocked if they won. I mean,
Mhm.
you got to show me that you know how to win when it counts,
Right.
and they just don't do that. Part of the problem is, I think, is like most teams in the NFL, they get away from the run too early, too often. So,
I
yeah,
agree.
you got Madison and you got Cook. You got two solid running backs. Let's use them. Let's do a better job of utilizing them, using the run to set up the pass versus what a lot of teams try to do, which is use the pass to set up the run. So,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
No, I agree. I agree. And with the Chargers, like again, like we thought the NFC, the AFC West was going to be the toughest division. I think anybody who watched football just assumed that. And you get the Chargers coming out, making the playoffs, which with all the talent on defense, they already had a talented offense. You know, barring injuries, like how you let Jacksonville, like this man threw 4 interceptions. There's no way y'all should have lost that game.
Hey, them early leads ain't what's up in the NFL, man.
mm-mm.
Hey, them I don't even want them joints no more. I'm cool.
Teams
You can
get too
keep,
laxed.
yeah, you can
Mhm.
keep that
Absolutely.
24 to nothing. I mean, I'll take it obviously, but you keep that. That's
Like,
why, yo, I mean, they tough, man. We've been seeing it time after time where these NFL teams are coming back on on these deficits. I don't know what changes, whether there's changes in both locker rooms at halftime or what,
what?
but them huge 3 4 touchdown first half leads ain't and
You know
then
what?
we gotta think about it. Granted, it was 27 to nothing, but we gotta remember at halftime it was 27 to 7. That's
Yep.
not even three complete touchdowns
That
and
ain't.
three extra
That
points.
ain't. Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's really not is I mean, it's really not as bad as
I mean, it's still three possessions, though. I
it's
mean,
Yeah.
you're still
definitely three
talking three possessions.
possessions.
I
But I
mean,
mean, if
I
you
mean,
could score, get a stop and score,
yeah,
it's that's it.
yeah,
You
you back
score,
in
get a
it.
stop and score,
Right.
Yeah,
you win it. Like so, I
But if you
mean,
looked at it like a team that was moving the ball, which the Chargers was,
yeah,
and the trajectory that the Jags was on, like turning the ball over 4 times, like
right,
I guess they got it out their system early and then
yeah,
just kind of
yeah,
locked in on the second half. That's from what I seen. But like
and
Team,
I
that was
personally
rough.
watch games and levels. I wasn't cluing in on the play calls. I can't say an instance. Whereas, oh, he definitely should have ran it here when they passed it, or he passed it. I mean, I was watching it, but I wasn't dissecting it that hard because, like, I didn't really care at this age. Like, bro, if it's not my team or something that has an interest in my team, like, I don't.
Right, 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 right. I
partially these
just found
teams.
that weird.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is could be 100% wrong, but partially it always seems like these guys they play not to lose. They get those leads and they
Mhm.
play not to lose. What
Right.
do they talk about even on TV? Now it's just time to control the clock. No,
Nah.
play like you've been
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah,
Right.
Go put up the
play
point. You
like
go
you
put up
play like you're in
80.
the
Go put up
playoffs.
80.
Right. Whatever
Like,
I gotta do. Yep.
yeah, but
I'm with
because
you.
the reality is, it's hard to turn that switch back on once you go on cruise control.
Right.
That's where teams get themselves in trouble, and then it's like, oh, they start panicking and they can't get out of it, and voila,
Hmm.
now you done, you lost, and and that's it. So,
Yep.
Right.
I agree with you on that, Jerry. I think it comes back to coaching. A lot of that coaching, in my opinion. So, um, you gotta coach. 4 quarters, just like the players got to play 4 quarters. So,
Yeah. Nah.
And then they hit that last field goal that they missed. That
yep,
changes the situation again.
changes everything for
Granted,
them. Yep.
the Jaguars was driving on that drive, so they probably would have scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that's what
They
I'm
had
saying.
plenty
Like
of
they
time.
wasn't stopping them.
But I mean, it just changes the field, man. I've just seen so much football where things like this happen and they just got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And if we're
know,
being honest, I think it's the really when you say what's next for them, Vikings. I think you got to look at yourself and say, all right, is it time to move on from Kirk Cousins and start a rebuild? Like you might just need a rebuild at this point. I mean, Justin
At least at
Jefferson
that
is young
position.
enough. I mean, Justin Jefferson is young enough. You can kind of start that process, and you won't kill
Thielen and
his
the O line,
prime.
all them young
Uh,
still young.
uh,
Kirk
Thielen
Cousins is
is
probably
he
the
can
oldest person on their offense.
Thielen can go.
Yeah,
You know,
you can find another
okay.
Thielen or somebody else to fill that
Yeah, I mean
role. Number
Thielen's
two.
nothing. I mean, let's just be real. Thielen's nothing. He hasn't. He brings no fear. Cousins looks for him in the red zone. That's why he's still a threat. But outside of that, Thielen, he's nothing. Really, what they should have did was, and I often go back to this. Just imagine had they kept Diggs instead of Thielen in that situation, and you would have had
Ooh, wee.
Diggs
Yeah, that'd be
and
crazy.
Jefferson. That's where I think that's a totally
Yeah,
different. But that's a different conversation. They
yeah,
decided to keep Thielen, whatever it is. But I look at it that way, and then I think even with the Chargers, they lost J.C. Jackson, but I mean, all that I heard even before, he wasn't even impressive.
yeah. He
Before
was
he got
struggling
hurt
at the
there, so
beginning of
he
the
was
season.
struggling. So it's like I don't know what you do there, only because they're going to be in a problem because you're going to have to pay Herbert. So you're going to have to figure out
That window's
that
closing
cap.
after next year. Oh no, it is next year.
It is
He's
next
up
year.
next year. Yeah,
Yeah.
end of
So I
season.
mean,
Yeah,
you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do from a cap standpoint anyway. Because once Herbert start making that money, your Bosa's and Khalil Max and J.C. Jacksons and
well, yeah,
Derwin
all them will be
James and
gone.
all
Well,
those.
Bosa, I think
I mean,
Bosa.
you'll have them. It's just
Yeah,
it's
at
how
what
long are you
price?
gonna have them and at what price?
Yeah,
What I mean, so
absolutely,
we'll see.
absolutely. Um, so yeah, I guess with that then we can just let's move on to these game and these pick'em records. Now everything is updated. Percentages is updated. Right now, I'm 65-38 after this weekend. Ike is 67-40. Justin 64-42. Jared 65-33. So the picks from last week. Oh, did I get rid of? Nope, I got it right here. So, I went 5-1. Ike went 3-3. Justin went 4-2, and Jerry, you went 3-3 also. I think the biggest thing, yeah, because you got we
Your
all
face,
picked
bro.
we all picked
Your face, bro, says it all.
I'm confused. Like, I
look,
just
we
knew you was
all
going to
picked
say 5-1.
Niners.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know my loss was the
Just
Bucks.
Justin was Justin
only
picked,
one.
he
I was,
picked he picked the Jags, I believe.
yep, I did. I was the only one
Everybody
to pick
else
the
picked
Jags.
everybody else
Yep,
picked the Chargers.
yep.
And then everybody picked
Cincy, didn't they?
Cincinnati.
Yep.
And then everybody picked not everybody picked I picked the
You picked
Giants.
Dallas, and you picked the Giants.
I
Yep.
picked Dallas and I picked the Giants. So that's the reason how I only had one loss, and that's
That's
because
why.
I refused to pick the Jags.
Right.
But everybody else I picked. Everybody picked Buffalo.
Well, you refused to pick the Bucks too because you had picked the
Right,
Cowboys to
because
win it. So that was by
yeah,
default. Yeah,
yeah.
I already knew
So
my two. The Bucks blew it, and then the Vikings blew it. But
so you
yeah,
picked the Vikes, you picked the Jags, and you picked the Bucks. So those
yeah,
are your three.
my two. But
Yeah,
Jared's three. I mean, yeah,
that's what I'm
Jared's
saying.
three.
Jared
Yep,
three
yep,
because
yep,
he
yep.
seems confused.
I
Yeah,
picked the Buccaneers.
yeah, yeah. I think me, you, and I did.
Why
If
the
I ain't
Yeah,
fuck did I
mistaken.
do that?
I don't know.
I didn't even
And I
make no
was
damn
looking
sense.
The funny
because
thing
I
is,
thought
I think you
because I said
changed
I'm
your
not picking
mind.
Brady.
Yep, I think you changed your mind because Vernon was like, we was messing with him because he picked the Cowboys to win the ship. So he's like, you got to pick the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I think me, you, and Ike was like, nah, we're going to go with the Bucks on this because Dak had been
That's
playing so bad.
crazy. I
It
was
Yeah.
ain't
stupid.
crazy, though. It really ain't that crazy. I mean,
Nah.
Dak been playing bad. And, I mean, it is what it is. We gonna see what they talking about because
And
they
we
got
was
the
talking
Eagles.
about not being sold on Minnesota.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
fraudulent, and I was the only one to pick the Giants.
Yep. I
Everybody
just
else
couldn't
picked
trust the
Minnesota.
Giants. I'm sorry. I told you.
But
It,
my thing is this: like I've seen Minnesota, I've seen how they've been playing, and like everything's just been tight or luck. Like they like we just was saying, they haven't dominated anybody, and
but the
the
Giants,
Giants
bro.
has been grinding all season.
Yeah, but it's the Giants, man. And Wink
Yeah.
is Wink. I'll be honest. Had I known Wink was gonna call the game like he did, I would have picked him. But he usually gets crazy with his blitzes, and that's why
And
I
see,
was like,
my
I
thing
didn't
is
think it'd be
this.
successful.
And my thing is this. I'm thinking about the Giants. I'm like, the thing is that the running quarterback Daniel Jones. I'm like, they Minnesota is not gonna have no answer for that. So you're not gonna blitz crazy with Daniel Jones. He's like third in the league in rushing in NFL quarterbacks. So like you're not gonna blitz him that crazy because he's gonna take off on you at some point. So that's exactly what happened. He was running on him.
It wasn't even that. I mean, Danny Jones tore him up. He had over 300 yards passing. I mean,
Yeah.
so it wasn't
And
even
damn near
running.
100,
Don't get
and
me
damn near
wrong.
100 running.
Yeah,
He was
don't
the
get me
first
wrong.
quarterback. I think he's one of the first quarterbacks to have like 80 yards rushing and a 250 yards passing with like 3 TDs.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so
don't get me wrong. I ain't big into the stats. They got a stat for everything.
no,
He's
I'm
the
just
only
saying
guy
like,
who tied his shoes left to
oh,
right and da da da. Like they come up with some of the dumbest stats, bro. So a lot of that stuff it is. But
but
let's just say this, and I said this earlier in one of our earlier episodes. I don't think people realize how big Brian Daboll was for Josh Allen. You see the
mhm.
struggle throughout the year for him, and then you see the improvement that Daniel Jones is taking this year.
Yeah,
Yep,
you talked about that.
I talked
That's
about that,
facts.
and that's real. And it showed in these past two games because Josh Allen did not look great against Miami,
no,
and Daniel Jones balled out
and
against
they was
Minnesota.
man,
So
they was close. They were very close to losing.
Miami really, never mind. They had their
Nope.
opportunities. I'll leave
Yep.
it that
No,
way. So
absolutely.
yeah,
But I don't. I now like everybody was looking at like this was Buffalo's year, so to
except for
speak.
me, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying like just overall, like you know what I mean, just from
Well,
what you
media,
hear.
yeah, media
Yeah,
does,
media.
but
Yeah. So
I
I just
I'm consistent with that. I don't believe
yeah.
in Buffalo. I'll continue to tell you that. Mm-mm.
So okay then. I mean now, if we really look at it, let's see, Philly, like Kansas City. I mean San Fran. I mean Cincy. Like again, like Jacksonville. I really think that's gonna be a tough game for Kansas City.
It is because of their staff. It's gonna be a tough game.
Think it's gonna be very tough.
It's gonna be a tough
Like
game.
you're gonna need the best Mahomes.
I hope y'all right, but I don't see it being tough at all.
You don't think so?
I hope y'all right, but nah, I don't
I'll
see
say
it.
I'll say this. I think the only reason why I say I think it could be tough is because the Jaguars and I honestly don't even understand this. But somehow Zay Jones has been killing for him. I don't even know where this has come from, but Zay Jones has been killing and Christian Kirk, I'll be honest, never was a believer in him, but he's actually played very well for them this season as well. Evan Ingram
But in
has his moment.
Arizona, what did
But
you
it's
didn't show you anything.
he just had moments in Arizona. It was
Right.
never
That's what I'm
consistent.
saying.
Yeah, like but the Jaguars they just kind of sneakily have good pieces in place. Like not great, but a lot of good guys as far as like receiving wise.
Young
And Travis Etienne has been a really good. I mean, he's been really good running the ball for him. So
and
that's the only
catching.
reason why I say it, Jared. Yeah, well, yeah, catching it too. But I that's why I say it, Jared, is because I think the Jaguars they're awkward. You don't really
Mhm.
know which way they're gonna go with it, whether it's running or the passing.
You don't know what's
And
gonna
I
happen.
think with Kansas City, they're a little bit more one dimensional. I don't think anybody's afraid of their run game, and it allows
No.
them to play them a certain way when it comes to, Patrick Mahomes and trying to scheme against the pass.
Hope y'all
So
right. Hope y'all right. Because guess what? If we somehow get by the Bills and Jags can take Kansas City
Kansas
out,
City,
hey, we
you
hosting
happy,
the
ain't you?
AFC Championship.
Hold
So
on, hold on. But how sick are you gonna be if y'all lost to the Jags in the AFC Championship game?
That part.
shit, man.
You be mad, bro. You be mad.
After losing for 32 years, bro, nothing can piss me off.
Okay. Hey, I feel you. I
Look,
feel you.
hey,
Man,
Hey,
I'm
hey,
you
just
a
keeping
hey,
it
team
I
winner.
real.
You get
Like
respect,
yeah.
respect.
Yeah.
nothing,
No,
nothing can. That's why, and it's crazy because it's like, although we went to the Super Bowl last year, I still feel like, to me, not obviously not, to everybody else, but to me, I still feel like we're playing with house money. Like I still
I
can't
feel you. I
be
feel you.
upset because I've lost for so long with these dudes. Like,
Mm.
Yeah.
so it's like you go to the Super Bowl one year, you come back next year, you win one game, you lose a tough game, and then you bounce back next year. Maybe one of these years we can get that bye. There's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it's like with me being a fan of them and them sucking for so long, like, bro, play hard. Obviously, I want you to play hard. Now,
Be competitive
if you
consistently.
just get abused doing the same shit, like if you just got Eli Apple on Diggs and he's just getting torched the same, then I'm gonna have an issue. But man, if we play a tough game and we lose on the road,
Yeah, you all right.
After
Yeah,
losing
I feel
this much for this
you. Yeah,
many years, bro, I
I feel you. I feel you there.
wouldn't even care.
Okay, then before moving forward, then I got a question for Justin. Then, like, how do you feel the Ravens played against Cincinnati?
Um, they played all right. I mean, the defense is really what made that game close. And then at the end of the
Right.
day, I'm just going to be real about the situation. I've been saying this. Greg Roman should have been fired 2 years ago.
Mm,
I'm just not a big fan of his offense has never evolved.
right.
2 years ago, he talked about Lamar was going to take more snaps under center. We still see Lamar 95% out of the pistol. He just has no evolution to his offense.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that game may go different if Huntley, for whatever reason, doesn't do something stupid like jump from as far out as he was versus just get low and let
That
them
game
push him
could have
in.
been a
That
lot
could have been
different.
a different, yeah, that could have been a different outcome. And it would have been interesting because then you're like, all right, is Lamar going to come back this next week? You know what I mean? Because that whole situation. But I mean, it is what it is. I just think, I'll say it this way: Baltimore really has to look themselves in the mirror and decide what they want to be as a team.
Mm,
Because if it's going to be Lamar, they need to stop playing around and actually build a offense that's going to allow Lamar to be successful.
bruh.
Um,
Ding ding
if
ding.
Yeah, like if it's not going to be Lamar,
Right.
you know
Like,
what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
Ugh.
I they just gotta they really just need to figure it out because I think at this point, for me, as good as they've been, like as far as organizationally speaking, I mean, at some point you got to say, all right, GM, what's going on? Coach,
Right.
what's going on? Even Harbaugh, you know what I mean? Like Harbaugh, people forget Harbaugh's going to lose his job. Lamar saved his job. Lamar, I
Literally,
mean,
bro.
literally saved his job. Harbaugh was going to be out. So I just think they're going to have to reevaluate everything there and figure out what it is they want to do because
Yeah.
they don't they haven't made the commitment that's needed, and that's actually why I kind of take my hat off to Cincinnati. And I ain't just saying it. They lost for a long time, but when even like I wasn't even a believer in Zach Taylor. But then when you
I'm
started
still
seeing,
not.
yeah, I'm still not. But this is what I'm saying, though, Jay. He knew what he was trying to do, and he wanted a team that was going to be able to throw the ball around. Period. You know what I mean? He wanted to
Hmm.
make sure he had that offensively speaking. Joe Burrow was going to have the weapons, and they did it, and it's worked.
Hmm.
And they've built it.
So
They built that team, and it took them a couple years, but they built that team for the modern NFL. They seen
well,
where it was going, and they built the team for that.
Man,
Now,
well,
I'm
only
I'm
thing
glad
they really
y'all
need
as
to
high on them as y'all are,
once they
because
shore up the tackles, but
oh
everything
my,
else,
oh,
like you said, everything else from tight end to receivers to weapons to Joe Burrow to the style of football they play, that wide open spread football.
they are the terriblest tackling team I've
oh yeah, they're
ever
one of the worst
seen
tackling teams.
in
But but
my
but
life.
but what we talk about though, Jay, for real, you have to give your. I'm only speaking on you got to support your quarterback, and they just did a good job of doing that. What was the biggest concern in the offseason was the offensive line.
Offensive line, and they
They
did
tried
that,
to fix it. They
and then
tried to fix that. You know
that's
what I mean?
falling apart
And that's what.
like no
But
other.
they tried.
And when
Yeah.
I meant
They are at
tackles,
least trying to
I
address
didn't
the
mean
areas.
tackling. I meant your
So
two tackles on the
no.
inside.
Oh,
We're
okay. I
saying,
That's
thought
what I
you
but
meant.
meant.
we're
But
saying
tackling also.
they are a terrible tackling
No,
team.
oh no,
That
no.
is.
God,
That's
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have the Jesse Bates and Von Bell have to be the worst duo of safeties
Safeties.
there, but it's like they'll make they play, but we talked about it the other night. I don't understand how we're good, honestly, as far as defense. Like you talking about bend don't break, like they take that and
Oh
they
my
probably all
God,
But
had
you
a
they
know
strap
what
stretched
it
suit
that.
is
on,
though?
Yeah.
like because
It's your red zone defense.
yeah,
Y'all
I mean
really buckle
yeah,
down
yeah,
in the
yeah,
red zone. Like inside
they
the
definitely
20,
lock up in the red
it's
zone.
they lock up in the red zone. But if they're
Yeah,
gonna
the
if they give
Ravens
up the
was okay.
plays,
What's the
if they
next
give up the
play?
plays
Okay, pick
before,
up this first down. What's the next
yeah,
play? Man,
yeah.
Ravens was driving, bro,
Mm-hmm.
like no other. And then see what their issue was is we kept putting Baltimore in third and shorts. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Now third and eight, third and nines,
It
it
looked
was a
terrible
struggle.
for them.
But
Yep.
them third and like y'all picking them up. Y'all probably hitting them at 90%. Third and
Well,
one,
80,
90%.
80
Because
90%. Yeah.
Dobbins was
Mhm.
getting like 4 or 5 yards
Yeah,
every
it was
rush almost.
And
yeah,
and
bro.
and y'all heard what Dobbins said, and I'm 100% with Dobbins on that. One, what do you have? 12, 14 carries? That's it. Like
Mm-hmm.
Something
you
like
know,
that.
yeah, yeah. Like he's like, why don't you feed? What? There's no reason he shouldn't have been. And I agree, he was the
Yeah,
best
because y'all weren't
runner.
even trailing like
We
by
weren't,
that
yeah,
much. For
yeah. But
Yeah, no reason to drop back.
you
The line.
still didn't give him the ball as much as he should have got it. And then two, he made that comment. Had they had Lamar, they would have won. Which,
Oh, he said that? I didn't know.
well,
But it's
yeah,
true
Yeah.
though.
but here's the thing. I ain't gonna say one way or the
I
other
ain't gonna say it's true, but
because I'll
it would
say
have been
this.
better. Yeah.
I'll say their chances obviously would have been
Would have
better.
been greater, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but it goes back to play calling. Greg Roman's been calling terrible plays this whole year. Literally, I don't think people realize how much Lamar makes up for Greg Roman's lack of play calling. It's just his ability to do things like,
And I think that's
yeah,
anybody. I mean, I think that's him anywhere with any team. I mean, when you have a talent like that, it's kind of like he can make some plays if yeah, especially if he don't have to make a lot of reads and it's not the defense isn't hiding what they're doing a lot. Like he's gonna make up for some things. No,
and
absolutely.
God,
But
what
uh,
they doing?
hey,
but
and
even but
I need you to stop too, Vernon,
what
because
I
I
do?
seen you look, and I meant to tell you this earlier.
What I
Trying to,
do?
hey, oh, you gonna post that video about Lamar? That nonsense. I seen that. I'm so sick of people saying, why wouldn't you consider trading Lamar for
But
Justin?
okay then. But just
Stop
hear me out.
Hey,
And
Lamar, for
it's
who?
not even
for Justin Fields, bro.
just wait a minute though. Listen.
Exactly.
And the point,
Exactly. Look,
but and the
exactly.
point. Listen, but the point they were
What?
Yeah.
making.
No.
Wait a
Next
minute, hear
topic,
me. Let
please.
me
Yes.
please
Let's move.
let me
Let's
just
move
say
on. Thank you.
that.
Thank
Moving right
you.
along, bro.
Yeah.
That's
I was just
crazy.
but what they were saying though, real quick, I promise, real quick. What they were saying is this: either pay
30,
Lamar,
29, 28,
pay Lamar, or
27.
move on. And what you can do is you can move up in the draft, get who you want, rebuild because
Who
Justin
do
was
you
just
want,
saying.
though?
I don't know. I'm just saying though. You obviously don't want Lamar because you want Payne. So that's
That's not
clear.
true.
So
Just
what
because
is it
if
then?
but if I want you to do a service for me, pause, you want, you know,
Payment.
you know, 50 just for the sake of numbers, you want 50 grand, but I only want to pay you 40 grand. That don't mean I don't want your services. That just mean that we can't meet on the point. And there's
Okay, so the work
to
is
me,
not
I
getting
see stuff.
done
I see stuff
until we
all the
figure.
time that I want, that I would like to have. But if I don't feel like that price is, I don't want to pay that price. I ain't gonna pay that price.
Right, so that stays where it's at. So
Yeah,
again, with Lamar,
they
what are
not
you
saying they
gonna?
don't want him. They
Huh?
probably just he want massage boy money, and I told y'all at the beginning of the season, I don't think he's getting that.
You
Whether
right.
But
he's
You
worth
said
it or
it.
not, I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not. But I don't think he's gonna get a
but
$240 million fully guaranteed
you
contract.
can't
It's not smart.
it's not smart to you, but
It's not
you
smart. Who else is doing
okay,
it?
hear me out. You can't pay him like less than Kyler. You can't you just can't you can't pay him less than Deshaun.
I don't
You
think
just
you
can't
understand. I don't
pay
think you
them less than
understand the
that.
objective of guaranteed money. Although you're looking at the numbers of the contract, I think Kyler Murray is like what 100, maybe 40, 150, 160 guaranteed. That's different than 250 or 260 or whatever Deshaun Watson got fully guaranteed. That's
Deshaun
two
got
completely
two.
different
What he
things.
get? He got how much?
230, I think.
Yeah, two
230
30.
guaranteed.
And
That's
that breaks
different,
down.
man.
Okay, it breaks down to 46 a year. So let's just
I understand that, but after with the difference is with these other quarterbacks, with Russ's deal, with Kyler's
Even
deal,
Mahomes'
uh,
deal.
yeah, after a certain amount, after that guaranteed money is up, I can
You can
say
cut him.
fuck the rest of that 70 $75 million on his
Yep.
contract,
Yep.
or yeah, 70 $75 million on his contract. I can go get somebody else
right.
with fully guaranteed. You
But
got to pay that. Nobody is getting a two
you
hundred
got
forty
you.
million dollar guaranteed contract like Homeboy got. He really messed up the scale. I think
He
the
did.
reason
He did.
why Baltimore
Okay, but
and
listen though.
hold on, let me
Okay,
finish.
go
I
ahead.
think the reason why Baltimore and Lamar Jackson don't have a deal is because Lamar wants a contract that the dumbass Cleveland Browns
Yep.
gave Deshaun Watson, and that's not reality right now. That
Yep.
contract is crazy. It's not
Okay,
reality.
But I
okay.
think he'll end up. I'll say this. I think he'll end up getting it because if he doesn't move on that, and it may not be in Baltimore, but I think a team that's desperate enough, that's out there.
Chicago.
And Chicago could be one just
And that's
They
because
have
and
the
that's
they
their
have
highest.
the
They have
money.
the
prerogative.
Yeah,
highest
because they have
salary
the
cap
cap to
right
do it.
now.
But
That's their prerogative. If they
But
want to spend
that's
that money, cool. But
But
we're talking about the Ravens and
right.
Lamar
yes,
Jackson.
But
And
now,
right.
I don't
but,
think
but
it's that they don't
okay.
want Lamar. I just don't think
And
they're
I
not
think you're right.
gonna give
I
him
agree
that
with you.
contract.
I
So
agree with you. I
The
back to
agree.
the
Ravens are a
trade.
smart organization. The Ravens aren't
Absolutely.
dummies. They wouldn't have been so good for
For
this
so
long.
long, right?
They know what they're going to budget in the quarterback. They're
Yep.
prepared to make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He's just not going to get all that guaranteed money in the contract. It's
So
not
Yeah.
now
going
we
to
back
happen.
to the trade then. So now you trade you trade Justin Fields for Lamar. You get a quarterback that's still on a rookie deal that you don't have to pay.
No, you don't do
Listen,
that, bro. That's terrible.
hold on,
Okay, I'm going to let
hold
you
on,
finish.
hold on. You can still run a similar style offense with Justin Fields if you don't like you if you don't want to tear down the whole coaching squad, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
as Justin was recommending, and you can move forward. Then Lamar can go to Chicago, who will gladly pay him all that money because they're tired of whatever's been going on up there. They're gonna do it, and you get the first probably the you're gonna never mind ain't even a problem. You're gonna get the first pick in the draft to do whatever you want to go get the receiver or even trade back some. Still get possibly Marvin Harrison Jr., which
Yeah,
you
he
need a
ain't in the
receiver.
draft. He only a sophomore.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
top receiver in the
Whoever they,
draft,
yeah, I don't even know.
right?
Yeah.
Or whatever y'all feel like y'all need at this point to go, or trade back and get a couple first round picks later on. You know what I mean? Like and build that offense that you've been saying whatever been missing. Get the receivers or whatever you say you've been missing. That's a possibility if you really budgeting and you want to build out and not blow all your money on Lamar. And that's what I'm saying from the trade. I'm not saying that Justin and Lamar equals or you should do it or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, if in your head you're saying, hey, look, we're going to be smart with our money. We understand what you want. We just can't come to terms. There's a deal to be made for a similar style quarterback, you know what I mean, that we could develop on our own, whatever. I don't see that being crazy.
You
And we
done?
can get the draft capital to help build into that.
You
That's
done?
just me. I am done.
No, that's terrible. They're not going to do that.
Okay.
They're going to franchise him next year.
Okay.
They're probably going to franchise him after that. If no
Okay.
deal can come through, then he'll probably just walk on his own. They're not going to
Yep.
trade him. They're not
Yeah.
going to trade him. No. I don't
But
even
then,
think. I
but
don't even
then
think.
every little nick and scratch he gets in the game, he's not gonna play. He's gonna take every chance he gets not to play.
And that's on him. If Lamar ruins his reputation like that, I mean that's something he's going to have to deal
Because
with.
that,
But
I was
look at
gonna say the
Right.
problem.
Deshaun
Well,
Watson did it.
What do you mean?
He sat out. He wasn't that first year.
That's,
he didn't have
that's
no
literally
choice.
what I
Before,
keep saying.
before,
That
before
contract
all that
is
shit came out,
okay.
he sat out a year for
That
no
nigga-
He
reason.
didn't have a he didn't have a
He ain't
choice.
really
He didn't have a choice.
but
They
that
they
contract was
sat him out.
fried.
Right, but he
I feel like
refused to play.
the Browns are
He
gonna
demanded a
regret that.
trade first, and they didn't
Right,
trade him, and
but
he sat out or whatever, and
no,
they said, okay, cool.
but they forced him to sit out because at
Okay.
that point they didn't want him to play.
He didn't
But
want to play either. So
he did, well, I mean, I ain't saying that he went in
I'm just
arguing
saying
to
that was
play,
at
but
that
I'm saying
time where everybody was forcing their way out of.
yeah, I mean, he would have played had they put him in. I mean, it's just the reality. He's under contract, but they didn't want him there at that point anyway.
Right.
You know, because
And you
of
With
that.
all
notice
the
once
legal
it
stuff
really,
he had going on, that was
Yeah,
probably
it was
but
too much
it
of
was
a
it
mess.
was before that stuff. It was actually a year before that stuff. The
well,
stuff
yeah,
didn't
that did
come
kind
out.
of come out at this. Yeah,
It
that
came
thing
out.
at
It
the
came
same
out that
time.
following year because it was like, look, when he started demanding trade and he started making all that noise, that's when all
Yeah,
that
but
stuff came out.
the year he sat was the year it came out. He
Yeah,
didn't
but
sit
that's what
out.
I'm saying. Once he
Yeah, he
demanded a
didn't.
trade, now all this stuff won't come out, which I knew
Correct.
the Texans had something to do with it. And
Well,
I
I was
don't
gonna
see
say the
why they're
Texans
doing
leaked
it.
it. Let's just be real;
Yeah.
they're the ones who were behind it. But that's a
That's
whole
why
nother
they got
thing.
caught up in it too.
Correct. I was gonna say got themselves caught up in it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a whole
So
nother conversation. But
right. But anyway,
look, we can move on past it. Long and short,
absolutely.
Lamar, they gonna franchise tag him. He won't show up until like the week before the regular season next
As you
year,
should.
and then that's just what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's a messy situation, and at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. I understand the logic behind saying, "Oh, you trading." The stupidity that comes with saying for Justin Fields is my issue. Like, I don't think people realize like Lamar for his career is completing over 60% of his passes. Lamar for
MVP.
his career has like he has like a 70 or 80 something percent win percentage for games he plays. Like
MVP.
MVP, like
Yeah,
he's not
he's won.
Justin
He's won
Fields
the
is not
playoff games. No, I
close
agree.
to
There's
that.
no
And
way.
I even say
I
this:
agree.
you can't run the same system with Fields because you have to
Not
be
the same.
accurate.
I just feel like you can run
You
something
have to
similar.
be accurate in Baltimore system because their receivers don't get much separation.
Receivers,
And so,
what receivers?
yeah, well,
But that's
that
what I'm
too.
saying. But if you
That
make,
too.
but I'm just saying,
What
if you make
receivers
the
are we
trade and
talking
you
about?
bring in some young guys in the draft, I just feel like whatever.
Who?
I don't
Who?
look, man.
Baltimore's not drafting any receivers. Have you not learned that in the last 20 years?
Look, my Colts are in the same position, bro. I ain't got the answers.
No, y'all drafted Pittman.
Right, but
Y'all
again,
drafted Paris Campbell, Alec Pierce. Like at least y'all going after somebody.
yeah, we
They were
just
going after career fourth guys.
True.
But I ain't gonna open up that. I ain't gonna open
Yeah,
up that can again because Vernon wasn't feeling me when I was saying that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
true
you
But
that.
everybody can't get.
third or
You're
fourth
talking
guys.
about
Wait
the
a minute.
number 2 T.Y. Hill. Never mind. All right,
None,
let's
none of
next
them
topic.
guys.
Everybody
Next
can't
topic.
get
Them
back to
guys
back.
weren't even number ones on their teams in college.
Everybody can't get back to back.
Paris Campbell wasn't even. He was like a scat back at Ohio. He wasn't even a number one, number two, or number three receiver. Really.
Everybody
But,
doesn't
hey,
have the privilege to get back to
Paris
back top
Campbell was the
5 picks
backup
to get
quarterback, and they
Joe
moved him to
Burrow
receiver
and
that they
Jamar
drafted
Chase.
in the first round.
Nobody gets to get Jamar Chase and Joey Burrow. Sorry, we're just not that fortunate.
we
We've been
sucked
competitive
so long,
enough.
we deserved it.
I agree.
We sucked so long, we deserved it.
Hold on, Jared. Take it a step further. It not only was it
Y'all earned
you
it.
can't say it the way you said it, Vernon, because here at the end of the day, they took them both high. So they didn't wait.
No.
They knew what they wanted, and they went and got. Jamar Chase was not a popular pick right there. People assumed it just because of the connection, but they're like, they'll be passing on this left tackle. Da da da.
No.
I wanted him all day. Like, I wanted him all day.
Yeah, but you remember the media talking about they were passing on the left tackle. I think it was like Penei Sewell, if I'm not mistaken.
Somebody,
So don't get me wrong. And Sewell's a dog though, but don't get me wrong. That's like it is what it is. But all I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, Cincinnati knew what they wanted. They went and got it. The Colts, what they do is they go for all these value picks. Oh, we're smarter than everybody. We're gonna go draft. Stop.
There's no way I pick any of those wide receivers, dog.
No.
Like there's no way.
But again, we don't even need to get into that because
first round too. Like what are y'all smoking? Like that's crazy.
All right, then. Well, let's get into these picks then, man. We got Jacksonville, Kansas City on Saturday.
Let's go, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
You saying that with your chest? You sure?
Yeah, because I'm actually hungry too. So Kansas City.
All right. New York, Philly.
Eagles, bro. Fly Eagles.
Niners.
Yep.
Wait a minute! Don't skip the Cincinnati Buffalo. You think you slick? Nah, man. Who you picking? I'm going Cincy. I think Buffalo's going back.
On a whim, I'm gonna say Cincy.
I was gonna say I gotta go Cincy because I ain't a believer in Buffalo. So
I'm gonna go Cincy, Dallas, New York, Kansas City.
You gotta pick Dallas. He got to. That's a Super Bowl pick. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you now,
like he got to pick Philly.
Yep, I gotta pick Philly. Got to.
Wait, so it's 4 games this weekend?
Yep. 2 on Saturday.
Okay, I got them all in. Kansas City, Eagles, Cincy, and 49ers is who I'm rolling with.
Yep.
All right.
Chiefs, Eagles, Bengals, and Niners.
Yeah, and I'm going Kansas City, New York, Cincy, and Dallas.
I hope y'all right, man.
I hope
I
I'm
think
right.
the Jags. We'll see.
Feel free to slide Sunday at 3 if y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all ain't doing nothing. But I'll be here.
That might be a move.
Is that an invite?
That is an invite,
brother. On air too.
All right. I want everybody to hear that.
Live
I got invited.
You got
when you invite me, I expect food and drinks.
Oh, he gonna have both.
Non-alcoholic options.
Nah, we can talk about that.
No, I don't drink either. But anyway, man, that's it. Anything else, man?
Act like I'm an alcoholic, boy. I got pop.
No. That's what I said. No, listen.
Hey,
I said
he said it like you had the bottle next to you right now.
I said I don't drink. I said no, I don't drink. So every time I come up, like I know he has non-alcoholic beverages because I don't drink, I'm very satisfied with going to Jerry's house. I love going to his house.
Good, because I want you to
It's been a minute too, bro. Yeah, it's fine. But we'll talk about it.
I need you to run that 40. All right.
All right, y'all. This has been the Epic Podcast. We see y'all next week.
All right. Peace out.
All right, y'all.
All right, man.